In this episode of the How to Get on Reality TV podcast, we get to the conclusion of the interview with Johnny Mac that I know you guys have been waiting for in this episode. Welcome to the How to Get on Reality TV podcast with Dan Giesling, where I answer your reality TV casting questions once a week. Welcome back. I know it's been a long 7 days for a few guys just waiting to hear the end of Johnny Mac's story. It's a great interview, and it's a great way to, he does a great job culminating his reality TV experience, and once again has some great organic real tips for you guys to take away from it, along with a lot of inspiration. I actually learned a lot from him in terms of who he was as a person and things he had to do to get cast on reality TV, and it's really awesome, and I think it's going to help a lot of people. Before we get to the conclusion, I want to remind you guys about the How to Get on Reality TV video bootcamp. You can check that out by going to howtogetonrealitytv.net/video. It's the same course that Johnny Mac used. It's really, really easy, straightforward. If you're not a reader and you need kind of like a classroom setting or a learn at your own pace setting, and you want to hear me teach you how to put yourself in the best possible position to get cast on reality TV, you can check it out by going to howtogetonrealitytv.net/video. You guys know the deal. So you can check that out there and learn how to get access to it and all that fun stuff. So let's, without any further ado, let's go ahead and into the final part of the interview with John McGuire. Enjoy, guys. All right, so we're back with the second part of our interview with John McGuire, better known as Johnny Mac from Big Brother 17. We just finished up. If you didn't watch the first part of the podcast, make sure to listen to that because we go through his origin story about how he got rejected a few times. And now we're to the point where he's having some success. But I want to open it up because I didn't ask you this question. I normally ask the few previous guests I've had. Did you apply for any other shows outside of Big Brother?
Yeah, absolutely. The practice is always good. So after I was rejected for 15, I just changed up the intro and the outro a little bit. And,
the intro and outro of what?
My video, my audition video, and
okay.
I sent it off to Survivor and had some success there. So I was like, I know I'm doing the video right, and that's at least something good to have in your head, that you're doing something right, and you're ready to go for like the next time it comes around. For the next time you're going to apply for anything, you're ready to go. Okay,
so you gained some casting experience. Did you find yourself in a position like, hey, what if the Survivor thing takes off? Like, did you think about how that would affect Big Brother?
Yeah, they're going to, I mean, you need to know the shows you're applying for, and sometimes if you're on one, it kind of hurts your chances of getting on another one. So it's like you have to choose, or sometimes it's just chosen for you, even though you'd want to be on both shows. Fate like chooses the show you're gonna be on. Okay. But if there's anything you want to do to try to influence that either way, definitely do that.
So for you, you've been on Big Brother, and this is kind of unrelated. Would you, after going through the experience, and we're gonna at the end of the interview, we're gonna talk about like how you are now, but would you go on? Were there any other shows you'd want to go on?
I'd want to go on Survivor. I'd be pretty bad at Amazing Race. I don't feel like I'd be good at it, but Survivor, like that's my original one. I'd love to go on there. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so it sounds like you've had a good experience with your reality TV, which is awesome.
Yeah.
We kind of skipped over, so we skipped over that. So you applied for Survivor, but now it's time for Big Brother. You know, the next season rolls around. Did you add any life experience to now your third video for Big Brother?
Yes. I did. Now I'm not a dentist. I didn't mention last time. For my second time around, I was a resident, which is, you're a doctor, but you're not really out in the real world yet. So this is the first time I'm a dentist. I'm making money, which is different. And what some people might not think is life experience, it is. You're a dentist, you're making 6 figures a year, but I moved back in with my parents. So that was really weird, just because of the loans, and I am not going to let the stigma of living with your parents affect my financial situation. So I moved back in to save rent, put it towards the loans, and I thought that was weird. Someone who's making 6 figures a year is living with their parents. And it kind of speaks to how bad the student loan situation is in the country right now.
Got it. So that's really unique. I mean, that's like, hey, it's not someone that's like struggling to find a job living at home. It's like, here's this, most people equate like, on the surface, a dentist being very successful. and you wouldn't find a successful dentist living with his parents. So
Yeah.
how did you communicate that in your video? Because that's very memorable. I guarantee no one you're up against there was not another dentist living in his parents' basement applying for the show, which is awesome, but really important.
Yeah, so I'm just talking at the camera. I'm leaving for work in the morning. I'm just talking at it. I'm like, I moved back home, just what I just said, because I want to make money. I want to pay off my student loans. I really don't care what anyone thinks about me living at home with my parents. I'm like, bye, Dad. He unenthusiastically says bye. And then I start talking to the camera, like, they're so excited that I'm back. And I go back there, like, yo, did Mom make any more fruit roll-ups for my lunch? Just like dumb stuff I'd say on the show, I'd say it in my video. It's just stuff like that. My intro, I did another funny one this time. I tried to, like, by this time, they know who you are. You don't need to say I'm John, I'm 25 anymore. Like, there's no point in wasting time with that. It's just like, let's hit them with something funny right now. I mean, if you're not funny, hit them with whatever you do. If you're extreme, jumping off of cliffs or something, hit them with that right away. There's no point in introducing yourself right away anymore, because it's a people thing. They know who you are. I made fun of Ian.
Okay.
I dressed up as him. I'm all nerdy. I just hate watching the show. I was on Big Brother, and seeing super fans on the feeds all the time talking about past seasons is just really annoying to me. I hate it. So I dressed up with like nerdy glasses. I had a plaid shirt on. I had like my hair like flat and combed over to the side. I'm talking in a nerdy voice. I have like this glass blackboard here, and I have things written on. I'm like, this is my brilliant strategy to win this game. And it has like dumb things that they'd always do, like talk about past house guests, memorize competition orders, and make sure everyone else knows that I'm a super fan. I know so much about this game, because that won't put a target on my back. So I have that on there. And then I quick cut to you like, no, you don't want to see that. You want to see guitar solos and pecs. And something about Dennis that I did a quick cut to you of me like drilling at the camera like it was someone in my chair, and I'm just like talking at it. I'm cursing. I'm telling them that they don't floss as much, like stuff a dentist is typically gonna say to a patient, and stuff that people hear all the time. I reshot the lake house from the inside because the ceiling had fallen in finally. I was like, this is cool. Let's shoot that. That week, I had found a VHS, like VCR bootlegged off the TV Back to the Future Part 2 movie. And I just remembered something from my childhood. I was like, I watched that movie like probably for 5 months straight at one period, like every day. And I was like, this is just like the kind of determination I have. I just stick with something, incessantly just go after it. And then I happened to have my phone on me again at a baseball game, and I was like stealing all my friends' sunglasses and wearing them. So I had like 10 sunglasses on my face. So I saw this like random guy. I was like, he had sunglasses on. It was nighttime. So I gave my phone to my friend. I'm like, here, I just start recording, and then I just yelled at him, like, yeah, give me those sunglasses. I'm Corey Hart. There can only be one. So just like random pop culture references, they're always good, and that was it. That's how I closed it this time. This time I didn't try anything witty, like I'm good for this game. It was just that's how I closed.
All right, so you got all these sunglasses on. Did you start like doing these crazy things because you knew they would be great on the audition video, or is this just who you are?
Yeah, it's both. I mean, I think it was just, like I said, I was quiet at the beginning, but as soon as you like start figuring out your motivation in life and all this other stuff that has nothing to do with the show, you kind of become more comfortable with yourself and letting people see that. You don't keep it all in your head anymore. So it is me being who I am. It's just like kind of being okay to just let it go. And
plus you're making 6 figures at the time, so who really cares what anyone says to you?
Yeah, you feel better about that. Maybe, yeah, confidence is definitely part of it. So yeah, it's not putting on an act for your audition video. It's really who I am. it's just I really do think when they're saying be yourself, like that's what they want. I know it's not great advice, but they just don't tell you the middle information. It's like you have to figure out who you are so that you could start building your life around that. And then once you know who you are, you're okay with acting out and being crazy. And then that's the end result that they want from you, being yourself. Like, if you're like holding yourself back, you're kind of like socialized to do that. You know, that's not you. You're not being honest with who you are. Like, I remember even like that. I was through this whole thing. I was thinking back to like that when you're in high school and you're taking psychology, that actualization period, and our teacher always said Oprah has the top of the pyramid. She's got it. It's like you gotta get to that where you're that comfortable with yourself that you're just like, I don't care. I've got everything I want, and this is what drives me. And like, so like, yeah, be Oprah. I don't know.
No, that's good advice though. Like, you're so confident in, because I think that comes into play, especially in the later parts of casting, when they're going to try and take you down and tear you down to see if you're really real. And I think, you know, like you said, like you can't fake, or most people can't fake what you're explaining. Like, you have an actual confidence, you know who you are. You've had some great success in, your auditions. You apply for some other shows and realize some stuff works. So it's working for you. So you add the Back to the Future stuff, you add the hole in the roof, you add the sunglass bit. Is there and then, which I think it sounds like you took like the core of your video, but then just threw in like random stuff that's you.
Yeah.
It's different.
There's almost no strategy talk in it. There's none. Like, if you're focusing on getting on a strategy show, I mean, that's great. If you're a pro poker player and that's your life, and you're just strategizing all the time, or you've written a thesis on game theory, like that's cool. If that's
is it
not
cool?
your thing,
is it cool though?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. No, it's cool. Yeah.
When they're looking for a strategist, they're gonna go with that. They're not gonna go with someone who's like, I'm so strategic. They don't really care about your strategy. They probably don't care about your strategy a whole lot. They want to know you're competitive. If you're going to be on a competitive show, they want to know that you're competitive. Don't say I'm competitive. Just talk about yourself.
Just show yourself getting hypothermia.
Yeah, watch it back, and you're like,
this dude's
am I being competitive in there? At no point should the words "I'm competitive" come out of your mouth.
I'm glad you're saying this, because that's like, if you were to go on YouTube and you're typing like Survivor audition videos or Big Brother audition videos, and you see a bunch of random people, it's like, I'm the most competitive person ever. I'm going to be the best survivor.
Yeah.
Show me you in hypothermia and smashing a guitar with your fingers. Like, that's, So.
Yeah, don't say it. Like, if you're competitive, show you being competitive. Like, 10 seconds without you saying anything, you just doing something ridiculously competitive is way better than just saying, like, I'm so competitive.
That's good.
Oh my God.
Dude, you're providing a lot of great tips for people in a different, unique way, man. I appreciate it. I think you're helping out a lot of people here by coming on. So thanks for coming on. But let's so you send in your audition video, you're feeling good about it, you send it off.
Oh. Yeah.
And then what?
I'm starting to pick up on the rhythm at this point, and I'm freaking out because it's not working. So
like by now, you mean like by now you would already have been contacted?
Yeah.
And you're not contacted.
Yeah, and this was the biggest change in my video, but I was like, I thought it was a good change, and I sent it to some of my friends to watch, and they were like, yeah, it's not the same as your past videos. Like, they'd say it in kind of a bad way. I was like, but I think this was my best one. I was like so energetic. I just didn't care. And then it's the rhythm can change. That's all I can say. Like, if you're starting to get discouraged, don't get discouraged and freak out. Like, even though I was getting freaked out, I did not contact anyone at any point. Just let it come to me, and it did. And
let me throw it out there so you have to say, did you essentially hop over an area that you normally had visited? Like, did you still go to semifinals, or were they just like, hey, we know who you are, come out here?
Yeah.
Okay. So let's just skip over that part. So you're going to finals, and I'm guessing at this point, 3 years into applying for reality TV, you have a good idea what's about to happen in terms of being locked in a hotel, having appointments. meeting with the producers, all that sort of thing. So I'm guessing someone as intelligent as yourself, you're not going out there completely blind to what is about to happen. So let's just assume what's going forward, okay. and you go, what's happening. You hop on a plane, you go out there. What are you thinking in terms of what you need to do, and do you do any preparation, or how are you thinking? Because this is your shot. Like, it's been 3 years, and you're on that plane. What is that like?
It's surreal. I can't believe it's happening. Oh my God. And I'm in a good spot. Like, I feel confident. Like, I don't know. The confidence is flowing through me like the force here, okay. And, I don't know. I just think I could nail it. I'm more worried about not telling anyone.
Okay.
I kept everything so secret. I lied to my parents. I lied to my brother. I lied to everyone at work.
Where did you tell your parents? So for those people who don't know, the finals is more or less a week to 10 days where you can use the phone, but you can't really tell people where you are. So where did you tell people you're going?
I'm going golfing in Georgia with my friends from dental school, because we're all over the country now. So we've all moved to separate places, and we're meeting up in Georgia to go golfing. Okay.
So that's the white lie that you told. So yeah. So you're out in LA or Studio City area, and then is there anything that you're concerned about? Obviously not telling other people, but is there anything like you're genuinely like either nervous about or anxious about before you start the process of meeting with people out there?
I mean, it's hard to go back, but like, you're always like, I was even in the airports, and I was like, I wonder if any of these people are my competition, and there's things you don't know about the whole process, but all I could say is just keep bringing it, just all the way through the process. If it worked, keep doing it, do it more, and it's gonna work.
So being a fan of the show, and you walk in and you see Robin Cass and you see Rich Meehan and you see Alison Grodner, what was that like? Like, did you freak out? Were you like, did you try to play it cool? And like, how was that moment for you? Because I think everyone remembers that moment when you see them face to face for the first time.
Yeah, I tried to play it so cool. Like, I didn't like any preparation that I had put into this. Like, I didn't talk about any of that ever in any interviews.
Yeah, it's very smart, very smart.
So I'm just like, I was who I was in the videos, because at this point I am that person.
Okay.
So
do you remember being like,
I had a good time? Like, it didn't feel like an interview. Like, a lot of job interviews, or maybe like the first time I had experience with this, I was like trying to think, like, what do I say here? What do I say here? It was a conversation. It was like what we're having right now. It wasn't stressful at all. It was just in there, brought the energy at all times. Because another thing you have to think about, and I never thought about it before being on the show, is that it's a show and it's a job, and something like Big Brother, it airs 3 nights a week. It's live, more or less, like it's synced up in time. They need something for the show tonight. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. You got to be energetic, So it's like, if you walk in there and you're not energetic, like, you're not going to be someone they want to work with. Yeah. They don't want to have to pull something out. We have a deadline. We don't want to pull something out of you. You have to be able to do it on your own. You have to be qualified for the job.
Because if you're not going to give it to them, they're going to go to the next person.
Yeah.
Okay. So let me ask this: do you remember during that time any part in the finals process where you were, I don't say attacked, but they rattled your cage, or do you remember ever being like, "Is this guy for real?" Like, do you remember any of that type of line of questioning for you, or trying to like find holes in your story?
No, I think I'm funny, and that's all that it was. It was shit. We were just laughs and laughs and laughs, really.
Okay.
No, I've always had like, it's hard to do that and portray that I think I'll actually be good at this game. So I was like, I think I would have caught on to Derek. Everyone last year was stupid. And people disagreed with me. I was like, no, I think I would. I'm pretty good at reading people. I do it all day, every day. I know when someone's scared of me. I know what people are thinking at times. And then I was laughed at, but whatever. And then, you know what? I think I was on to Vanessa on the show. So I think I was right.
So were they? So they're like, if I'm trying to like poke a holes, I'm thinking like, how can this guy who's like overly energetic and like kind of goofy, how can he really understand what's going on with the social dynamics of the game? And you're just kind of like, shut up. I know what I'm doing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So you go through the finals process. And, you know, so let's just say you meet with producers and you maybe meet with some people wearing suits that represent a certain network, and then you leave. And when you're leaving, what are you feeling? Are you feeling like, did you get any hints? Did you get any like, hey, good job? Or hey, like, what are you thinking as you're leaving there?
I did the best I could do. I had good vibes all the way through the process. And one thing I thought as I was leaving, I'm reflecting, I'm just like, there's a lot you can do to prepare for this, but there's luck involved. Like, I feel that there were a lot of people that are qualified to be on the show that they are aware of. Only this year, 17 could get on. There's way more than 17 people that should have been on the show this year.
What do you mean by luck, though? Like,
it just how things like, okay, I mean, there's got to be half guys, half girls, you know, stuff like that. And they have to like balance it out. And they're like, we love you, but
you don't fit the puzzle.
This is going to work a little better this year. And now I'm thinking like, it's just, all right, all these people are going to say 50 people could be on the show. Like, they're all good. They're all great at talking to the camera, all this stuff. Like, they have to pick 17 of them. It might just be like, we just kind of like that one today. And then I'm thinking back to those, like, especially last year's experience where I thought I killed it, I didn't make it. It's just like, it's a job for a lot of people that control your fate in this. And I go to work sometimes and I make decisions in dentistry on a whim that I might not make like the same exact decision a different day. You know, it's just like little things like that. They're just out of your control. Like when you're trying to think like, what's wrong with me? It could be that there's nothing wrong with you. You could be killing it, and it's just
not the right mix of people in the cast.
Yeah, at any stage, like they just don't want you.
See, I would agree with you to an extent about like being the right fit for that particular year, but at the same time, like I wouldn't say it was luck that you got cast. I mean, it's not like you put 3 years into it.
Yeah. There's a lot you could do to set up to it, and there's like a lot you could do to bring yourself to the table, but there's gonna be setbacks that are just
out of your control. All right, cool. All right, so you come home and you're at home. You're a dentist at this time, right? So you're like drilling people and like giving people Novocaine and doing that stuff, and then your phone rings. Do you remember where you were and what happened? You have.
Yeah.
You don't forget that. It's like one of the few moments in life you'll never forget. So what was that like for you?
That was amazing.
Where were you at? You remember where you're at?
I think I was at home. I was sitting in the basement, and the phone call comes in, and I'm like, oh my God, I did it. I can't believe this is happening. And then at that point, I was just like, I don't know what to do right now. Like, okay, let's get ready. Let's pack up. Let's go.
And at that point, you told your family, you know, you're very, you know, the tight-knit circle.
Yeah, the people that are supposed to know what's going to happen to you for your journey there. They all got to finally find out, and it was pretty nice because they knew I was chasing this for a while.
What was that like for you? You know, being, you know, applying for this show for 3 years, and then like having a bunch of setbacks, getting the call, and then being able to share that with your family. What was that like for you?
That was, I mean, at the time I was just so excited to do it. I mean, it's just like, wow, wow, you know. So like, you can't put it into words almost. It's just like, and it's happening. It happens quick, and you just go with it. Go with it the best you can.
Okay, cool. So you go on the show, you have a great experience, and then I want to talk about your life after reality TV. Before we do that, I want to ask you though, what would you have told young John McGuire the first time he applied for reality TV that you knew as Johnny Mac having coming off reality TV? Is there anything you want to look back and said like, and it's hard to say because then you say, oh, I might have been cast on a different season, but from a casting either motivation standpoint or what to do, what not to do, what would you have told your younger self?
Dissect what be yourself means. When they tell you be yourself, that's what they want. It's just like, what's part of that tree there? There's be yourself. You gotta know yourself, know who you are, be comfortable communicating that to other people. Whereas if you're like an introverted person, you're not going to be okay with doing that. You have to find some way to be okay with doing that and then start getting to the point where you're good at doing that. Letting people know like exactly what you're thinking. No filter. Just let people know what you're thinking and be fun to watch. And because that's what it is. It's a show. A lot of people want to be on Survivor, Big Brother, or Amazing Race in particular. They view it too much as a game. It's game, great, play it when you get there, but it's a show too, so you have to be entertaining. Okay. So and when you let yourself out of its cage, that's entertaining. That's what people want to see.
All right, so there's probably another young, I don't want to use a dentist, but let's say there's a young dentist, either guy or girl that's an introvert, maybe in the Pennsylvania area, and they're like, hey, I want to be as comfortable as Johnny Mac is, and I knew he was an introvert once. What's one thing you could tell them to like help them come out of their shell a little bit? Because you said like you have to find a reason, and you'd mentioned for you that was the fact that you kind of had to do that for your job, but for like someone that may not have that, where they have to interface with patients and take care of them, what could you tell them to like push them to do that, being a former introvert yourself?
If you're a student or you have work and you're not going to change your careers for this, I mean, maybe you want to change your career for it. I don't know your situation, but get another job where you have to talk to people. So like, I know in undergrad, like it started putting me in the right, direction. Like I worked at a beer store just selling beer to people. So you have to talk every time someone does a transaction. People are always happy when they're buying beer, so they're not gonna judge you or anything. But no, like that's a good way to ease into it. But you have to be okay with people judging you at some point, because they're gonna do it.
No, but it would be kind of weird if you were working at the beer store and someone ordered beer and you just don't say anything. You're just like,
yeah.
Yeah,
it's
it doesn't work.
Steps. You don't have to be like yelling at them like, "Hey, thanks for coming!" Like right away. You can just be like, "Yeah."
Okay, cool. So start small. Maybe get so Johnny Mac's word of advice: maybe get a second job where you have to talk to people, or volunteer where you have to talk to people. Cool.
Yeah, like if this means that much to you, like just get part-time 8 hours a week or something. And yeah, it's work, but at the same time, you're working towards your goal, and then you quit when you think you got it.
Cool. All right, so now that it's all over, so you went on the show, you were, those people that don't watch Big Brother but still listen to the podcast, John was very beloved because he was a character. There's a lot of people that go on reality TV that don't pan out to be very entertaining or very rootable or very, identifiable. But John was one of those people, and he was, a normal person who made that happen. So for you, like now that it's all over and you've kind of achieved your dream, are you glad you did it?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Yeah, I didn't win. Yeah, the game itself was frustrating at times, and I don't know how other shows are, if they're frustrating too, but it's like, it was fun. Almost no one gets to do it, and you can... Yeah, it's fun. I mean, I don't know. I did it for me. That's for sure.
Was there anything about the experience that you weren't prepared for? Like, it doesn't have to be game or casting wise. You weren't prepared for that. Like, took you aback, and you're like this was maybe not like, I don't want to say a bad part of it, but something that you just wasn't expected that might have been not been positive for you.
Nothing for me was like really negative. I like pretty much every aspect of it. Like when you set aside the show itself, like that I didn't win, stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I would have liked to win, but like there was nothing like I really hated about any of it. I didn't come off there. Like I came off there, I felt like, you know what, I love the entire experience about it. And the one thing that I think you should remember there is that you didn't con your way to get here. You got there by being yourself, getting on there, and because the people that were trying to con their way on there, they got weeded out. Once you get there, don't stop. Just keep going with it. Like when you're filming something for TV, like same energy you were coming up there, because that's why they put you on the show. That's what they want. So give it to them. It's your job now. And even if you don't feel like doing it, it's your job. You are an entertainer, so you bring it.
So right now you're talking to all the people like have gotten on reality TV and just were duds because they didn't understand it's a show.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's really easy to lose focus and get self-centered and get too focused on the game, and you're just boring. Like whatever is your like strength, make sure you're good in that area and just kill it. Like don't get too focused on yourself that you're not being what you're supposed to be. You know, and
got it.
If you did it right, it shouldn't take any effort at all. It's just you just go in and be yourself. You know. So.
Okay, so I have two final questions for you as you wrap things up. In terms of like one of the things that's not talked about very often is when you come off a show that's as socially intense or kind of weird as like Survivor, Big Brother, and you don't just come off and like be captivated and captured for 3 months or 40 days for Survivor and come off and essentially go back to normal. Like you don't like just go from that to transition to normal life very easily. Is there anything that you learned or anything that you did to help transition? I know it's still early on for you. It's been like 4 or 5 months, if that.
Yeah.
Like, is there anything that you did that helped that, or did you really like? Were there any point where like weird things happening that you had to adjust to?
Yeah, it's weird getting out of there and people know who you are. Like no one, because that was just weird to me. So it's tough to take that in. I was just trying to, be as nice to as many people as you can, because they're the ones that are rooting for you all season. Like, don't take that for granted for sure. Yeah. I would say definitely get to doing something quick. Like, I had some fire under my butt. Like, I have student loans. I gotta make payments. I need income at all times, or I can't sustain myself. So I had to get back to work.
Well, that's one of the things we talk about off camera, that you said, how much time did you take off before you went back to work?
I took a week off.
And that's it. So you spend 3 months locked up in this crazy environment. You take 7 days off and you go back to work.
Yeah. I mean, Twitter doesn't pay money. you got and you know what, going back to work and getting some other stressful things in your life, it's like, yeah, it's really hard to juggle all this stuff, and it feels like a lot of times, but it kind of gets you out of the mindset of the game or the show or whatever. Like, bad feelings that you might have towards other people you were with, it's like, you just gotta let it go. It's over. The show, it's not gonna happen again, Big Brother 17 will not come back for round 2 or anything. It's done.
That's really smart of you to do that, and that's one of the things that I learned, and I'm glad you brought it up, is like, people don't talk about the experience after, but the faster you get back to real life, like, I think that's why like we're able to have a normal conversation about your experience without like being, you're not once were you like, hey, remember week 7 when so and so did this? I'm like, no, I don't remember that. But some people, like, I think it's a testament to you in terms of like you transitioning back to your life, and I think that's awesome. So let's talk about, before we wrap things up, one of the things I want to say is that I got an email from you on November 28th, 2012. I'm not going to read on the podcast, but okay. It was essentially our first communication, and to me it's always cool to like know that 3 years ago at some point you're like, dude, I want to do this, and then now like you're on the podcast and you did it. And if you're cool that I want to post on the website, I'll let you look at it and edit stuff out if you don't want to say it. But essentially, I just think it's really cool that you've been able to take your dream from just like came from your mind, something you want to do, and then you did it, man. That's freaking amazing. It's awesome to see normal guys like you on the show and normal girls on the show, because you made it entertaining. You know, you understood that, okay, you got on the show, but that's not just enough. Like you made yourself a very memorable character, and I have a feeling you're probably not the last time we're going to see you. But as we wrap things up, tell me what people, you know, what you're up to now. I know you have a YouTube channel. Tell me about that. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so I'm trying to start a YouTube channel. It's
MacMail number 7.
YouTube.com/TheRockstarDMD, and I wasn't really sure what to do with it getting off the show, so I've been trying different things, seeing what people like, and
what have you found that people like, or what have you like? Have you found, you know, what do you enjoy doing on the channel versus what's received well so far?
I enjoy doing all of it, but you can't do all of it. You can't spread yourself too thin. I mean, I have a real job, and then I have this, so it's like you can't do everything. You'll wear yourself out. So I have to pick what's doing the best, and I think what I like doing the best and what people are starting to like doing the best is just more of what was good on the show in the diary room, just talking about stuff.
So what kind of stuff do you talk about on your YouTube channel? Because I've seen like one of your Mac mails. Like I don't know, it popped up somewhere and I watched it.
Yeah. Reading the fan mail. I mean, everyone wants to see. I mean, I just want to. It's cool to just like share with you guys. Like if you just like gave me something in person and I could read it, like that was just a cool thing.
So you read fan letters. What else do you talk about on you?
Doing that on YouTube before, yeah. So that's just for that. But I've made like 3 videos of me just talking about stuff. One was when Finding Dory was announced. I talked about that, just things that came to my head. And then the Christmas Carol, I retold that. And then I did some tips for going out on New Year's. So I'm going to try.
Oh, cool.
I'm going to try my best, one every week, just like things I'm thinking about, put it up on there. And,
got it. So kind of like lifestyle, like just, hey, what's going on and how you approach stuff. And you make it, I'm going to go on a limb and say that you make it entertaining.
Yeah. I mean, why stop? I did love it being on the show. I was like, I felt like in my element even more than being a dentist. I was like, I love doing this. This is awesome. So like, I get to do it every week on the internet now, and it's cool to just keep putting them out. And as long as if people still want to watch it, I'll put them out there. You know?
Good for you, man. Well, Johnny, thank you so much for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. You know, anytime like someone like yourself that's able to make that happen, you know, it's a pleasure for me to bring you on. Thank you so much. I think a lot of people are going to get, you know, a lot from this, and kind of, you know, I feel like in a way that we were able to kind of look a little bit behind the Johnny Mac, you know, persona to really find out what it took to get there. And you know, thank you so much for coming on the show. You know, it's I think you've helped a lot of people.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. Good luck, guys.
And then how can so on Twitter, what's your Twitter handle?
It's at Rockstar DMD, all one word.
Rockstar DMD, because I should know what DMD stands for, but what is Rockstar DMD? Or what is DMD?
It's the Latin way to say Doctor Dental Medicine.
Okay, so and that's the same thing on YouTube. It's youtube.com/Rockstar.
There's a the
Rockstar DMD.
Yeah.
Okay.
For internet reasons, I don't know.
So on YouTube, you're the Rockstar DMD.
Yeah.
And then Twitter, you're Rockstar DMD.
Yeah.
Got it. Cool. Sure. Johnny Mac, it's been a pleasure, man. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
All right. Awesome. Later, man. All right. I hope you guys enjoy that. I certainly did. It's always fun to bring on special guests like Johnny Mac. A big thank you to him. Make sure you check out his YouTube channel. I actually just watched one of his videos. If you guys are into YouTube videos about the 5 reasons why you should go out on New Year's. This is a couple weeks after New Year's now that you're watching this, but it's really fun. He's doing a good job, and it's good to see him kind of try something new. And it's really, if you guys liked him on the show and if you liked him on the podcast, you'll enjoy his I don't say whimsical, but they're whimsical and funny and entertaining videos. Check that out by going to youtube.com/TheRockstarDMD. And so as things wrap up, I want to remind you guys one last time about the How to Get on Reality TV Video Bootcamp. Deadlines are coming up, and you need to take action. What better way to take action than to have me hold your hand and teach you? Yes, I was a former teacher, so I know what I'm doing in terms of how to put yourself in the best possible position to get cast, how to create your story, how to set up your video, how to understand what your why factors are as you are as a character. What do you need to do? How do you need to say it? What do you need to prepare for? What should your background of your video look like? Every question that you have about the process is answered in this 4-part video series, video course bootcamp that you can knock out in a weekend very easily. So you can start on a Friday and have your video submitted by a Sunday, and even do it all in one day if you're a real go-getter. You can check that out by going to howtogetonrealitytv.net/video. howtogetonrealitytv.net/video. And because I'm recording this in the future, I don't know if there's any of the Johnny Mac codes left, but if you want to save 10%, rare discount. We don't discount things around here. You could check it out. I don't know if there's any left, but there's only 20 available by using the coupon code or the code Johnny Mac, JOHNNYMAC. That gets you 10% off that video bootcamp. Hope you guys enjoy it. And thank you guys so much for watching. We'll get back to the podcast as normal next week, answering your questions. So if you have a question, you guys know where to submit it. Go to howtogetonrealitytv.net/ask, where I answer your reality TV questions about casting once a week. I'll see you guys next week. Have a great one. Later.